No blood tests. No x-rays. Zero high-tech machines. The doctor just places 3 fingers on your wrist, takes a quick look at your tongue, and reads your health like an open book. Sounds wild, right? But here in China, this is Eastern wisdom that's been passed down for thousands of years. Hey guys, I'm Yoyo, and today I'm taking you along for an immersive look into the magic of traditional pulse reading. Today, we are making it a whole family trip. My mom knows this incredibly famous doctor in town. People swear by him. They say his treatments are absolute lifesavers. So we made sure to book an appointment with him specifically. When we walk into the hospital, my aunt heads straight to the front desk to get us registered. Now, even though this place is called a Chinese medicine hospital, it is basically a mini city inside. They have everything. There is a print shop for your documents, a little convenience store for snacks, you name it. We got here super early. The doctor hasn't even shown up yet. But out in the hallway, there are already people sitting around, patiently waiting for their turn. Inside the doctor's office, you can immediately tell he is highly respected. The walls are covered in official government medals and awards, and there are all these bright red silk banners hanging up. In China, when a doctor cures a tough illness, patients will often give them a custom silk banner to say thank you. It is the ultimate sign of respect. Finally, it is our turn. The doctor is actually a bit younger than I expected. When I sit down, I get to see this ancient practice in action. First, he checks my tongue. To him, the color, the moisture, and the thickness of the coating are like a dashboard. They are signals showing exactly what is going on inside your body. Then comes the pulse check. He places his fingers gently on my wrist and just closes his eyes. He is tuning in, feeling the rhythm of my pulse. He is checking if it is fast or slow, strong or weak. He is even feeling for textures. Is the pulse smooth, or does it feel rough and choppy? After about a minute of total silence, he opens his eyes and speaks. He nails it. He tells me I am just flat out exhausted. I need to get more rest. He says there is nothing seriously wrong with my organs. He says he will write me a prescription for some herbal medicine to get my system back on track. This right here is the absolute core of traditional Chinese medicine. It boils down to 4 steps. Look, listen, ask, and feel. Look at your face and tongue. Listen to the sound of your voice. Ask about your habits. And feel your pulse. Zero machines involved. It relies 100% on the doctor's personal experience and intuition. Western medicine is great, but it often treats the exact spot that hurts. Got a headache? Take a pill for your head. But TCM is a totally different ballgame. It treats your body like an ecosystem. If you can't sleep at night, the problem might not be your brain. It might be your liver. If you have a terrible appetite, the issue might not be your stomach. It could be your spleen. All your organs are wired together. If one link in the chain breaks, the whole system gets thrown out of whack. After the checkup, we head downstairs to the pharmacy to grab our herbs. Walking through the halls, you see posters everywhere explaining TCM knowledge. We pass by a physical therapy room, and it is completely full. People are doing all sorts of rehab. Some are getting acupuncture with those super long needles. Others are doing cupping therapy. While waiting for the herbs, I look outside. The parking lot is a total madhouse. The hospital grew fast, but parking never caught up. Right by the front gate, there is this massive truck permanently parked there. It is completely opened up, operating just like a full-on restaurant. All these patients and their families have been waiting for hours, and they need to eat. And by the way, this hospital isn't just hearts and pulses. They have an ER, a pediatrics ward, and a surgery department, exactly like a standard Western hospital. When it is time to pay, my mom handles the bill. For all my medicine, it comes out to about $22. In China, traditional herbal medicine is usually way cheaper than Western medicine. If I had been prescribed standard lab-made pills, it easily would have cost around $60. After a bit more waiting, my name is called. She carefully double-checks the prescription, takes a quick photo of the brewing instructions on the wall.
Oh, 行，知道。
And we finally head home. The vibe on the car ride back is great. Everyone is relaxed. When we walk through the door, my wife immediately jumps into the kitchen. She is from Sichuan province, and honestly, cooking is her love language. The first dish she whips up is scrambled eggs with cucumber. It is super refreshing, cuts right through any grease, and the eggs are incredibly fluffy.
你说先炒这个扁豆还是先炒这个？这俩一起放？
先把多搁点油，对，胡萝卜用油炸的才好吃。
The second dish is carrots stir-fried with snow peas. The colors are beautiful bright red and green, and it is super crispy.
我要再往前，你叫我来，我还是吃在这吃。
The main event is green pepper pork. She marinated the sliced pork in soy sauce and cornstarch ahead of time, so when it hits the hot wok, it stays super tender and packed with flavor. It is all simple, home-style cooking. There is no fancy plating. But this is exactly the kind of food we crave the most. We all gathered around the table and just dig in. I even bust out some dried fish I bought at the local market a few days ago. It is salty, chewy, and pairs perfectly with a warm bowl of porridge.
你别吃了，那刚刚。
我知道。这个拿手吃吧，这个可真的。哎呀。
好的。
你来吃呗。
你吃完了。
你还吃不了。
不是饭嘛，那软米饭。啊。
不要汤。
By the end of the meal, I am the one polishing off all the leftovers. In China, wasting food is a huge deal. Back in the 1960s and 70s, the country went through a brutal famine. My wife's grandfather actually starved to death during that time. So, the idea of saving food isn't just a polite habit. It is literally baked into our DNA.
你说馒头，哎，你看你说馒头，妈妈。鼻子也不流了，真好啊。
拿的是吃。我把这个鱼
啊，吃一半。
我把这个塑料纸搅开，它就化得快。
After lunch, my mom starts the process of brewing my herbal medicine. Back in the old days, Chinese families used these heavy clay pots on a gas stove to brew herbs. You had to stand there and babysit it the entire time.
我不弄，那就是你收拾。
我回来把送过去，我回来我收拾。
我自己做。
But technology is a total game changer. Now, we have these smart electric brewing pots. You just set the timer and walk away.
妈倒水吧。
But before you even turn it on, you have to soak the dry herbs in water for about half an hour. It is just like making tea. If you don't let them soak, you won't extract the real medicinal value.
这多长时间？嗯。
My mom actually FaceTimes my aunt to get a quick tutorial on how to use this specific new pot. Brewing TCM is honestly an art form. You don't just dump everything in at once. Some tough roots need to go in first. That is called the first boil. Other delicate ingredients, like flowers and leaves, have to be added way later. If you boil them for too long, all their healing properties just evaporate. I was prescribed enough medicine for 6 days. My mom expertly wraps the dry herbs up into 6 individual little packages. She leaves out today's dose and neatly stores the rest away.
别让他玩了，给他洗洗。孩子别睡太晚了。
你看看。
洗洗。终于玩了半天，可以不用水了啊。
该让大家了，是不是啊？
行。
给你找个碗，我给他兑个奶吧。
嗯。
这是什么药？
专心路。
哎呀，没看见。
Finally, the medicine is done. She pours it out into a massive bowl. It is dark brown, almost black. And there is steam rolling off it. Visually, it looks like a really thick cup of black tea. But the smell, it is a mix of bitter, earthy, and spicy all at once. Honestly, it is pretty intimidating. I take a deep breath, ready to chug it. But as the bowl gets close to my face, that intense herbal smell hits me, and I literally flinch. I have to get a glass of water ready beforehand to wash away the complex aftertaste of the herbal medicine.
欢迎爷爷，欢迎爷爷，欢迎爷爷。
哇，好大一条鱼啊！
Right at that moment, my dad walks through the door, and he is holding this massive fish. It is almost as tall as my baby.
哎，咱这鱼花有没有刺儿？
不知道。
My mom is thrilled. and the baby is clapping his hands. My aunt mailed it over from the coast, and it is super fresh.
看见了吗？多，你手上有新的。不用插。
For dinner, we are making beef noodle soup. My wife is slicing up cabbage and prepping her signature spicy sauce chili oil, soy sauce, vinegar, minced garlic, and Sichuan peppercorn powder. She is a true Sichuan girl. No meal is complete without spice. She layers thin slices of braised beef on top of the noodles my aunt steamed earlier, pours the hot broth over it, and tops it with green onions and cilantro.
哎，
是。
While my wife was cooking, the pot almost boiled over right in front of her. You really can't do two things at once, guess you just have to stay focused.
是不是啊？来把饭给我们拿来。不是，下一个周到。
倒沫子。
And once again, the drama unfolds.
要好好多吃多长肉啊！长了肉，爷爷带着你去玩去，等你该咱们早点咱们去跑步。好香，好香。还有煨白菜。西红柿钱。玉米在吃饭，奶奶在干啥？奶奶在喂宝宝吃饭。
OK。
不要了，钱宇给我拿点纸来，不给他。哪天开始吃啊？晚上好不好？
The smell is unbelievable. Everyone gets a massive bowl, and the whole room is just filled with the sound of slurping.
啊，
结果发现要的不是这个。
甜玉米，辣辣，辣不辣？啊！我的天！
少一半。
你看看，哎，
不吃了，不吃算了。
辣吧？
Eating noodles with raw garlic is a tradition here. A bite of noodles, a tiny bite of garlic, it just hits the spot.
好不？
宝宝，你今天也吃蒜了。
只要都喂足了就可以。搅一搅，
嚼
给大家搅。
嚼。哎。
After dinner, My dad is playing with the baby, and my mom is quietly cleaning up the kitchen. She always does that, just silently taking care of everyone.
我觉得卤在一起，
为啥卤不在？
得先卤会儿猪蹄儿，再进排骨。
先压一下。
Later that evening, the kitchen is buzzing
哇，我
again.
看。
My mom bought a ton of pork ribs and pig trotters for tomorrow.
好大一条鱼，肚子也没破呢。准备卤排骨。
卤猪蹄儿，卤排骨，我爱吃。
The whole family is squeezed in there, prepping food together.
带筋儿的最
It is chaotic, but it is the warmest kind of chaos.
对爷爷。 哎呀，小泥鳅。
I'm on room duty blanching the ribs in boiling water, tossing in some spices, and setting them to braise in the electric pot. Meanwhile, my mom is just staring at that massive fish from earlier. Since we live way inland, we rarely see ocean fish this big, and she honestly has no idea where to even start.
注意手啊！
My dad steps in, grabs a heavy cleaver, and goes to work chopping the head off. It is so huge that he actually has to put some serious muscle into it.
我来，我背着它。我看老田你就这样的吧，你都给它剁了，剁了以后呢，咱们炖点儿，完了我给田丽红拿去点儿一块儿就拉倒了。
都炖上。
不炖，我以为你不剁开。
So, that is what a day of seeing the TCM doctor looks like. You might still wonder how feeling a wrist can diagnose an illness, but that is the beauty of thousands of years of accumulated wisdom. It is not about machines. It is about human connection. Western medicine is a precise science, but Chinese medicine is closer to philosophy. It sees your illness not just as a disease, but as a signal from your body. The doctor gives you herbs, but what he is really telling you is, slow down. Rest. Stop pushing yourself so hard. Does your country have any traditional medicine like this? Let me know in the comments. I'm Yoyo. Catch you next time.